Madame et Monsieur les co-présidents de GLISA, Monsieur le Président de Woga2013, Monsieur le Premier ministre du Québec, Mesdames et Messieurs les élus d'Anvers, du Parlement de Flandre et du Parlement belge, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs, Mesdames et Messieurs les maires, chère Tamara et cher Jean-Yves. Before I begin, I would like to ask you to observe a minute's silence in the memory of the young journalist and human rights activist, Eric Oena Lembembe, assassinated in a cowardly attack in his own home in Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon, the night between Friday 12th and Saturday 13 July. Avant de commencer, je voudrais vous prier d'observer une minute de silence à la mémoire du jeune journaliste et activiste des droits de l'homme, Eric Oena Lembembe, lâchement assassiné à son domicile dans la nuit du vendredi 12 au samedi 13 juillet 2013 à Yaoundé, capitale du Cameroun. Je vous remercie. Merci. Je suis très heureuse de me joindre à vous aujourd'hui à l'ouverture de cette importante conférence et je remercie très sincèrement les organisateurs qui m'ont fait l'honneur de m'inviter à prendre la parole ici à Anvers 7 ans après ma participation au premier World Out Games de Montréal en 2006. Dans un illustre panel de personnalités telles que Louise Arbour, magistrat canadienne, professeur de droit et haut-commissaire des Nations Unies pour les droits de l'homme à l'époque, dans un discours resté mémorable et qui a été suivi, comme il le méritait, d'une longue standing ovation. How far we have come, a path with as many thorns as roses, a path which reminds us that nothing is gained and that everything is still to be done. I remember that back in 2006, just in our area, we had a case about Cameroon, a case in which 11 people in Yaoundé, which is 300 kilometers from where I live in Douala, had been arrested completely arbitrarily in a bar and charged with homosexuality. A case where we intervened and which allowed us to put the problem caused by the application of Article 347 bis of the Penal Code condemning homosexuality in these terms onto the agenda and to start a public debate. Any person having sexual relations with a person of the same sex is to be punished by a prison sentence of between 6 months and 5 years and a fine of 20,000 and 200,000 CFA francs, which is about 30 and 300 euros. Among those 11 people, we have managed to free 2 of them, but the case continues for the others and nothing has moved 1 year since. Since then, television debates have taken place civil society has organized. Several associations have been created and try, for better or worse, to offer services to the community, such as access to health care for sexually transmitted illnesses and HIV/AIDS, and the fight against violence, discrimination, and stigmatization based on their sexual or gender identity. The family of defenders grows and is starting to take shape, to our great satisfaction. We have been able to attract the attention of the international community, firstly through the embassies of countries represented in Cameroon, who I want to thank here, who have always lent us a very attentive ear, but equally with the training of volunteers in extremely informative programs, which means that today I'm able to say that starting from scratch, we have managed to get volunteers massively involved in this oh so difficult struggle for human rights for LGBT people. The media have reported our action widely, as have international organizations defending human rights, such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and many others. The movement is getting organized, and I think that that is extremely important. Coming to Africa, to Cameroon today, you can feel that there is a civil society starting to get together to ensure this struggle alongside the great family of struggles for human rights, like women's rights, disabled rights, and today they are there too. LGBT people exist. What's more, when the Association of Defense of Homosexuals, ADEFO, was registered 10 years ago, no one imagined that for 10 years, day after day, the problem of LGBT rights will be on the agenda of the most powerful world leaders in this world, including at the United Nations. That has reinforced our fight and opened fields of hope for the future. In Africa today, LGBT people know that they have rights in the family of human rights, and that they all have a place there. For 10 years in Cameroon, I'm talking about Cameroon because I'm afraid, but I use this as an example which illustrates all the others well. That is where there is the highest number of arrests. That is where there is the highest number of ambiguities, of contradictions, of paradoxes. The country can perhaps be taken as an example of the shifting of LGBT rights in Africa. Things are moving. Cameroon, where on the one part there are fundamental texts, such as the Constitution, which resolutely commit Cameroon as regards protection of minorities without exception and without exclusion, thus also protecting sexual minorities. The Constitution is reinforced by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is an integral part of it and shows that the country commits to respect the values enshrined in it. Moreover, in the Constitution of Cameroon, Article 45 stipulates that agreements and treaties approved and ratified have, upon publication, higher authorities than laws. Faced with this high-level commitment, confirmed by a speech the President made in 2006, when he joined the public debate caused by rumors of homosexuality at the highest levels of the state and took a position in favor of the protection of private life, we can permit ourselves to say that hope exists. All the foundations, both legislative and legal, are there. We just need help the competent authorities to apply them. All things which strengthen the concept of a state founded on the rule of law, something which we will not cease to promote and without which nothing good can otherwise be envisaged. The last visit to Cameroon of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay, constituted a concrete and high-level push which should assure us of the future of the LGBT movement in Africa. The historic speech of former US Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, on the 6th of December 2011 in Geneva on International Human Rights Day went in the same direction, with her addressing a powerful message on her terms, I quote, "To LGBT men and women worldwide, let me say this: wherever you live and whatever the circumstances of your life, whether you are connected to a network of support or feel isolated and vulnerable, please know that you are not alone. People around the globe are working hard to support you and to bring an end to the injustices and dangers you face." Of course, despite this otherwise encouraging statement, Cameroon remains world champion in arrests, ahead of Uganda and every other country, even I think ahead of Iran. In Cameroon in 2011, a young student was sentenced to 36 months in prison for having declared his love to a person of the same sex in a text message. The same year, 2 young people driving in a car were arrested and sentenced to 5 years in a closed prison because they seemed feminine and were drinking drinks such as Baileys, appreciated by women, according to the judge. There are also those we do not talk about, who we managed to free from police custody, unfortunately against staggeringly high cash sums, which their families end up paying, thus feeding corruption, a true plague, but thus avoiding the oh-so painful agonies of imprisonment in jails, which are hells in all but name. But there is a glimmer of hope, which has come from the President of the Supreme Court of Cameroon, head of the judiciary, who, when the Supreme Court reconvened in January 2012, reminded that respect and protection of human rights should be at the heart of judiciary practice.